Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are going to be talking about pools, Chia and all these different pools, but one in particular that we're going to be talking about is PoolChia. And why PoolChia? Stay with me on this one. Hey guys, before I begin, I still have Bitcoins. Reach out to me. A bunch of you guys have emailed me. I've already sent those out and you should be expecting them very soon. I know you guys are waiting, are anxious to get some Bitcoins. And what the hell am I talking about? Well, it's Bitcoins like this that I'm sending out to individuals. Also, what I want to do is make sure to remind you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel because I'm trying to bring you the latest and greatest information as best as I can. So what am I talking about today? Today, I'm talking about PoolChia. Why is PoolChia so much in the limelight? Why is it being advertised? Why is it being pushed out? The quote-unquote more official pool for Chia. So let's dive into that one and see. All right, guys, so I have the Chia Decentral site here. And this site is ran by no other than JM and a few other of the Chia devs. So let's see who these people are so we can get a better idea of why I'm saying that PoolChia is something that seems a little odd to me at this very moment of all these different pools, but PoolChia seems to be one in the limelight more than others. So let's go over to here about us. And yes, this is, I just wanted to point out here, this is very specific to the Chia team, meaning Storage JM is here, and you can see here there's Kalon. Am I saying that right? Kalon? I don't want to butcher the name. You can find these guys on Coinbase and they're there all the time to help the whole Chia community grow with technical aspects, beginner guides, and all these other good stuff that's on Coinbase. Now, I'm not a particular fan of Coinbase, but that's what they do there. But what am I talking about today? So I want to go into that article about PoolChia. It's almost like a one-on-one interview with PoolChia. There was a question asked, tell us about your team and your background and the experience in crypto. So they do have some type of crypto experience, and the first time I've heard of PoolChia or have seen PoolChia is when I did my interview with Freddie from the Chia Explorer, because if you guys remember that, the Chia Explorer, I had asked him on that video, are they just exclusively with PoolChia, and he said yes. Why PoolChia? Is there any specific reason?
Yeah, PoolChia have got a team of developers. They're experienced with blockchain technology. They have AWS architects. They've got Chinese language, Japanese language. They have, an experienced team, and they have plans beyond just the pool as well, going into the future.
So, and there's a link here for PoolChia that they're partners. And of course, this is the Chia Explorer. This is where we find our winnings and the biggest pools and all that other information here. And of course, I will link this in my description. Go back to this article. There are 7 individuals in this PoolChia team. They have experience in Amazon AWS and all these other developments, and they have experience in the crypto field. I'm not too sure how extensive, in what aspect of the crypto world, because crypto world is pretty big right now, right? And of course they go through this one-on-one and they're asking these questions. What motivate you to start a pool? And they got into it. Big part of what attracted me to Chia was Bram and Gene Hoffman's vision of the US green crypto listed on the stock exchange, which has not happened yet. Of course, that is the goal, or one of the goals that Chia wants to do, is go on to get into the IPO things and get into the stock market, and then have the association between the coin and the Chia stock itself. Now, I'm not too sure how that's, I guess that's an inspiration for the PoolChia guys to do this. They showed 2 important items. Chia would be using what worked with ETC and BTC, but better, and the Chia team was looking long-term versus a pump and dump. So obviously what they're saying is if it's going IPO, it becomes a stock, then it's a long-term perspective opposed to just a rug pull from these guys in Chia. These 2 items became the founding assumption belief of PoolChia emergent coin. Now, I looked into emergent coin. I'll get into that a little bit later. The trip to meeting the team in Miami, interaction since then with Chia.net team has only strengthened these core beliefs. So they actually met in person. I guess they were inspired the route that Chia is planning to take them. Mentioning emergent coin, I looked into their website because when you go here, scroll to the bottom of this article, there is a particular website that they're linking, but there's not much information there, but enough to give us better insight to who PoolChia is. So PoolChia team didn't give me any details, but still told me to be on the lookout for the updates on Nuclear. I don't even know how to say it. Nuclear.io. All right, so I did go to that webpage. It says it's under construction. So at first glance, it looks like it's a dead site, but no, it's not, because one, it leads you to the Discord of PoolChia, and of course I'm gonna accept that invite, continue to the Discord, and you're gonna get all that ton of information because there's tons of people on the Discord discussing all this. As this recording, there is in the PoolChia Discord site, there's over 1,000 people in here and more going forward as PoolChia becomes more developed. The pool itself is the website going back to PoolChia, which we've seen before, and of course their partnership with Chia Explorer is also listed here. Go to the emergent link, the 7 individuals that they mentioned in this article. We will see that because if you click on team, these are the individuals here. So you can see that by each one of them, they have their little brief history and what their strengths are. I believe if you're gonna put profiles up like this, then you would actually put more of a highlight on yourself and your experience. So you could read into all that. I'll definitely link it, but it's in the same article as this Chia, in the Chia Decentral, which is ran by Chia, and they're choosing PoolChia as their go-to pool. I shouldn't say that they're using it as the go-to pool, but if you're giving it this much spotlight, you're pretty much having people, you're redirecting people here, right? Because even for myself, as a person of interest in Chia, I'm questioning which pool I should be joining. And it's very hard to decide because, you know, people say, if you go on Discord, you go on Reddit, you go on Facebook, they'll be like, what pool should I join? Some individuals will be commenting and say like, oh, you know, you should do your own research. But it's hard because what are you using to base on your research? How do you know this guy from this developer, any difference between the two? And what are you using to base that as your final decision that I'll stay on this pool or start on this pool? Because there's a lot of incentives right now, right? If you start a pool, if you join a pool, that there's 0 fees, right? And then after a certain time, I've seen it for myself is that after a certain time that they will charge that 1%, but they won't charge you if you joined pre-release of the official Chia pool protocol. And if you stay with, so obviously if you left and you came back and it was already past that time, you would get charged that pool fee. Now it's 1%, and 1% is pretty big on something that's really minute right now, meaning if you were to win, I'm not sure how the winnings would be consistent because the pool themselves would need to hit blocks in order to distribute their winnings, right? The 0.25 or however the divvy up of the 2 XCHs for hitting a block. If they do win, then it becomes like, is it consistent, right? Because if it's not consistent, then you'll be sitting there with plots and farming on this pool without a winning potentially daily. All right, so I just want to make that clear. It's very hard to decipher. I don't believe the pools are guaranteeing you more wins. It's more of a ratio of possibly more wins and possibly getting more XCHs because depending on the size of the pool, right? So let's just say you had a pool and you only had 10 guys in it. 10 guys plus, you know, maybe each one of them had 100 terabytes to contribute. They are not necessarily going to win a block and you may not get anything for maybe a couple of days or even a week. Obviously, the bigger the pool, the more chances of you having that divvied up. But if you have, that's only for 10 people. But if they do win with the 10 people, you're only splitting. The pool operator will get the bulk of it, and then the rest of the 10 people would get more of a percentage of the XCHs. But let's just say there's over 1,000 people or 2,000 people. How do you divvy up a 0.25 XCH amongst all of them? So you're getting a very, very small fraction. Obviously, that's a lot to talk about in regards to the distribution of the pooling and how much they win and how many people are on it and how the rewards are given if you're in it, and depending on how much you're contributing to the actual space. I believe there's also a factor of how many terabytes that you're contributing into the farm, and that will be based on how much you would get back in return. Now, all that, I believe some of that can still change, or it depends on the pool operator and the site and how they operate their rewards. I could be wrong on some of the stuff, but this is what I've gathered from reading into some of the pool operational stuff, and I'm not saying I understand the entirety of it, but there is a system going on right now of how it's, so a lot of these pools are in competition with each other because they want to favor, you know, the end user, which is us, to join their pools, and they're giving us incentives, because the more incentives and the more people they have in their pools, the more that they will be making in return, because if that pool hits a block, that pool operator gets a good chunk of the XCHs. So obviously that there is a value to that. I just wanted to mention all that, and I hope that you guys found this information useful. I'm not saying that I'm not going with PoolChia. I'm just looking into it more because Chia Decentral is talking about it. Chia Explorer has a partnership with it. Why PoolChia opposed to all these other dozens of other pools that are available out there? So how do we find out more about them? Is Chia Decentral going to go through each pool that finds legitimacy and go through and do an equal opportunity interview just like they did with PoolChia? Who knows? Maybe. Hopefully they would, because if Chia Decentral is part of Chia, I find that source of information to be very reliable. I would hate to see that they only favor one pool over another or any other, right? Because if they only favor this one pool, then that kind of diverts the whole attention to just this one pool. Now, how are we to say that all the other pools are not legitimate anymore? So I don't know. I mean, that's a debatable question. I want to just bring this to your attention, and hopefully we can have a great discussion in my Discord as well, which is linked in the bottom, or even have it in the comment section. I want to thank you guys for being here, and I appreciate it. So remember, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.